Alright guys, it is time. It is here. The day has arrived that we never thought we were gonna see again. Twihards back in the day are now having their second chance, and that's Midnight Sunday. It actually was Midnight Sun release day yesterday, but I ordered my book on Amazon Prime, so I just got it today, and I thought I would just start this vlog by opening it up. Just a general disclaimer for this vlog in general. It's going to contain spoilers for all of Twilight, the books, the movies, anything related to that. This is going to be my reaction to Midnight Sun. I gotta say, I am still, oh my gosh, I'm having a lot of feelings all at once. First off is I still don't like the cover choice. Second thought, this is an extremely shiny dust jacket. Like, this is the shiniest one I've like ever seen. Do you see how reflective this is? Another initial thought, I did not realize it was going to be so long. Let's just, oh my gosh, and it's small text. This is no Twilight, let me tell you. 658 pages, which I'm okay with. Like, I kind of wanted a longer book. I just don't know what to think. It's crazy to be holding a Twilight book again. Oh, it says, intrigue. Are you gonna eat this book? This unforgettable tale as told through Edward's eyes takes on a new and decidedly dark twist. Oh, I'm okay with some darkness. So without further ado, I'm gonna get started reading Midnight Sun, but there's one very important thing that I have to do before that. It's boring. This is perfect. I'm gonna do my first update. Finished chapter 1, so I am at page 23. We had the biology class scene, his first impression of her, and it was very intense. I mean, I kind of was expecting, like, obviously he wanted to kill her, and he does tell her in the book that, like, it was a miracle that she made it out of class alive because he just kept imagining ways to kill her, and you're in his head now in that scene, so you're hearing the turmoil that he's going through and just how, like, obsessed he becomes with Bella's scent and her blood, and how he's just about to throw all of his 70, 80 years of being a vegetarian vampire out the window because of Bella. And he's just in such turmoil right now. Kind of what I expected so far, because we knew that was what he felt originally, but we're now going into like uncharted territory where he's leaving and he's going to see the family in Alaska, I believe, for a few days. So I'm really curious to read what happens in that scene, in those scenes, because he comes back like a different vampire. Just got to chapter 5 and we've already had the scene where Edward saves Bella from the car and their little confrontation afterward, and we just now got to witness a scene with Edward and his whole family kind of trying to make a decision on what to do because they know Bella's seen too much, and like Edward sees through Alice's visions that he's going to fall in love with her, which that's just a crazy, like, Alice is like really blowing my mind in this book, just how Edward can see all these possible futures, and it's just very confusing for him. I mean, right now he saw 2 possible outcomes, either like she would become a vampire or he would kill her, and he doesn't love her yet, but he knows that, I mean, based on her vision, that he's going to fall in love with her, but he doesn't want any of these options to come true. He wants to choose something different. So I just, like, I guess I didn't realize, I don't know if it mentioned in Twilight or whatever, this is like getting really dark, that he like has seen her as a vampire like that early on. Like he already like knows that that's a very strong possibility for her future. So he's very tormented right now, and it's very angsty and wonderful, and he's really mad about the fact that he's going to fall in love with her. We're really getting more about him just like being fascinated by her, but at the same time, like, he's only fascinated by her because he can't hear her thoughts like he can hear everyone else's thoughts. So I don't know, like, I don't know if that makes her special enough. I don't know what I think. I'm just reading this and just enjoying it, and I am liking that, like, this whole scene we got with the family, that wasn't in Twilight because Bella wasn't a part of it, obviously. Now I'm gonna get back to reading because it's super interesting, and yeah, like, I'm liking it. Alright, hey guys, so I wanted to wrap up my thoughts on Midnight Sun. As you can tell because of this cut and the title, I did not end up vlogging Midnight Sun like I was hoping to, and I really wanted to initially, but I'll kind of explain why I just didn't feel the need to as I give my review for Midnight Sun. So this will contain spoilers for Midnight Sun and Twilight as a whole, the whole series. First off, I just want to start by saying the length of this book I found was way too long. It was 650 pages, and it was Twilight, but it was just Edward's perspective, and I found his perspective to get so repetitive. I don't know if you found this as well, but I feel like I definitely got the gist of how his mind worked within the first 50 pages, and then to have to continue reading about his struggle, it just felt very laggy to me and very drawn out, and I was hoping to enjoy this book a lot more than I did, so I was disappointed in it. But at the same time, like, I kind of already feel like I kind of knew what I was getting into with Midnight Sun, so I shouldn't have been disappointed. I should have had some of those expectations already, but I did find his perspective repetitive, and it was just non-stop him just thinking, I love her so much, she's my whole world, she smells so good, I want to eat her. Like, it was just this whole range of emotions and feelings, which, like, I'm glad that we got to know them, but I do not think we needed to know them in as much detail as was provided. Like, there were just sometimes conversations and dialogue between Bella and Edward, or Edward and who I don't know, some other character, and I just feel like it was just like a little line of dialogue and then paragraphs of Edward's inner thoughts about what was happening or what he was thinking, and that just really felt like a little too much to me. Now, the good things about Midnight Sun, because obviously there were good things about this, it was Twilight. Again, I was happy to be reading another Twilight book, so that was a big plus. Also, another big plus was seeing the relationships between Edward and his siblings. I feel like we really didn't get that. I mean, not as much obviously in Twilight because you're just with Bella's perspective, and so you're not seeing him interacting with his siblings as much. But I really just even more so loved his relationship with Alice. That was always a strong bond that I'm so glad I got to see, because I really loved them. And hearing in his mind like how he would read Alice's thoughts, because he can read minds, and so he would basically be kind of telling the future as well, because he would just see into the mind of Alice, who was seeing the future. So that was trippy and really cool insight, so I actually really do like that. Some characters that surprised me were Jasper. I feel like, how did I not even remember that he was this like crazy war vampire? Like, I did not remember that part of him at all. I knew he had like a tougher past and was more recent to the Cullen family, but I definitely forgot that he was like this crazy war strategist person. So that was a big surprise to me, and I'm sad that it wasn't played up in the books or movies as much. I mean, to my knowledge, it's been so long since I read that series, and I'm just now rewatching the whole movie series, so I'm seeing little snippets of it here and there, but definitely not to the extent that I feel like his character really could have been. But I'm glad that Midnight Sun did show that layer of him. Another thing, this book did not feel like a love story at all. I don't even know what I would classify this as, but I just was not picking up on the romance aspect of this book. It just felt way too dark, and I think that's what it said in the inside flap. This is like a darker retelling of Twilight, and it definitely nailed it there, because I just wasn't super into the relationship in this book, which is just unfortunate, because that's the whole reason that I fell in love with Twilight in the first place, was because, oh my gosh, how Bella and Edward, but I definitely didn't get that in Midnight Sun. So there's a few things that were kind of downers about this book. Also, I don't think this book is necessary. Like, I wouldn't go out of my way and recommend this to anyone. Not because I hated it, but just because from my experience, it's just 650 pages of very repetitive thoughts that isn't that necessary. Like, if you were like the biggest Twilight fan ever, then that's fantastic. You'll love this. It'll be perfect for you. One thing it did though was it definitely sparked my interest in wanting to watch all of the Twilight movies, so I have been doing that. I have just Breaking Dawn Part 2 left to watch, but I've really just been enjoying watching the movies because I kind of wanted to read the whole series over again, but then I realized I never watched all of the movies, so it just made sense for me to watch the movies. They're all on Amazon Prime, so I've been really liking the movies actually, except for Twilight, the first one, which is the only movie I've really seen a ton, and it's just horrible. But besides that, I'm so hooked on these movies, and I've been liking them. So anyway, that is one other thing that it did spark, was my interest in watching these movies, and I definitely will see myself watching these movies again in the future, just especially like when I just want to chill out and have some me time, and those are the perfect movies for that. So I don't know if anyone else can agree with my thoughts on Midnight Sun, but I would love to hear what you thought about this book if you've read it. If you haven't read it, I really hope it didn't dissuade you from reading it. If you really want to read it, I say still go for it. Like, still read it. But these are just my personal opinions on things. So yeah, let me know. I want to hear all about your thoughts in the comments below. Maybe like a favorite scene or something you didn't know beforehand that you really liked learning about, because I want to love Midnight Sun more than I did, and it just fell flat for me. So that is going to end this Midnight Sun video, but thank you so much for watching, and happy reading.